All right, West Virginia fans, another day closer to fall camp opening. This time we're going to preview the offensive line. The offensive line is probably the biggest question mark going into the season for the West Virginia Mountaineers. They've lost a ton of guys to the NFL and to the transfer portal, and we're going to highlight that to start off. And then we're going to get into this room and who we think is going to make an impact on this team. But it's definitely a question mark, and it's definitely the most wide open battle of the offseason coming into camp. Again, if you're a Mountaineer fan, before we start, please like and subscribe to the show. We've been gaining a lot of momentum over the last few weeks, and it's been awesome to build an audience. So keep sharing with your friends, keep liking, subscribing, and let's keep building JerseyEer. With that being said, let's get into this fall camp preview. Before we start, West Virginia has lost a lot of talent out of this room over the past year. Wyatt Milam goes to the NFL for the Jacksonville Jaguars, so congratulations to him. And then you also lose guys like Tomas Remack and Johnny Williams to the transfer portal, which definitely hurts. So there's some big shoes to fill here, but I think after watching this video, you'll feel a little bit more confident about this room as a whole. So let's get right into the guys that are coming in. So let's start with the guys that are coming back, the guys that were here last year that could make an impact on this year's team. And I want to highlight three. So the first one is Nick Cray. He's a redshirt sophomore. He played in 12 games last season, but it was mostly on special teams. So I like the 12-game experience for him. I know he's been talked about a lot in West Virginia circles as someone to keep your eye on. So let's start with Nick Cray. The second guy that we want to talk about is Landon Livingston, redshirt junior. He actually had a start last year versus UCF at home, and then he played in 7 games last year, and he was also the Big 12 Media Day West Virginia representative. I think that's big. I think that's a big clue that this guy might have success this year. I don't think you send someone to Big 12 Media Days if you don't have a plan for them and if they didn't make an impact in the spring. So I think out of all the key returners, you definitely have to start with Landon Livingston as far as someone who might get playing time just because he was the Big 12 Media Day representative. You only sent 3 guys and he was one of them. I think that speaks volumes to how he did in the spring. And then the other guy we want to highlight that's a returner is Xavier Bosley, a redshirt junior. He has 16 games of experience and he has 11 starts. Now, those 11 starts were at mainly Jacksonville State, right? His coach at Jacksonville State was Rich Rodriguez. So it almost shows like he was so good as a freshman that they trusted him to play really early for them and he made an impact. So keep an eye on that. He was named to the Conference USA All-Freshman team that season. So it's a guy that has had success with Rich Rod. So with so many question marks and not many returning starters, they might lean on him for some playing time because they know what they get with him. So I think Xavier Bosley is definitely someone that you have to keep your eye on as we get into this fall camp. Let's talk about Power 4 transfers. I know West Virginia fans a little bit when we were getting transfers in were concerned with the lack of Power 4 transfers. That's not really the case in this room. There's a ton of them. Let's start with the first one, Tykees Crawford. Redshirt senior, 39 career games, including 9 starts. Out of all the Power 4 transfers that I think you need to pay attention to, I think this is the big one, right? Tykees Crawford. Because of his 39 games of experience and those 9 starts, it shows that he is an SEC level lineman that has playing experience. It's not like he's coming here from that school and didn't play much. 9 starts is almost a full season. So he has a full season pretty much underneath his belt of starting football. That means a lot. I'm really looking forward to this guy watching him play this year. I think he has the most upside out of all the guys in the Power 4 room that we're going to talk about. The next guy is Malik Agbo, 32 career games, 20 games as a blocker. This is where it gets interesting with him. He was used as a jumbo tight end and a lineman at Texas. So he was kind of that tweener, and they used him in some tight end packages, which is interesting. He's going to play, I believe, just lineman at West Virginia, but he's definitely someone to keep an eye on. The next one is Josh Isosa, a redshirt freshman. He was a 3-star recruit out of Oklahoma, had a really nice offer list out of high school. So anytime you get a lineman from Oklahoma, you have to pay attention to them because they always recruit really well. And then the other guy on this list is Aiden Bustle, redshirt sophomore, only played in 3 games and had 62 snaps at Tennessee. So 62 snaps is not a lot of the playing experience. So it's going to be intriguing to see how he does in fall camp and if he can make a jump. I know he was in a crowded lineman room and he transferred, I believe, after spring ball. So he probably saw the writing after the wall after the spring and then made his way over to the West Virginia Mountaineers. And then two other Power Five transfers. Let's talk about Kimo Manakaoli, redshirt senior, played 19 career games. What's interesting about him, though, is that half of those games were as a defensive tackle, right? So he's played some offense, he's played some defense. I think we're really strong on the defensive line, quite frankly. So I think there's no doubt he's going to be an offensive lineman. The question is, can he stick as an offensive lineman and can he beat out the other guys? Again, LSU is one of those blue blood programs that recruits well, so he's probably in a crowded room. Can coming down a notch to West Virginia make him a starter? We're going to have to see. And then the other guy is in-state product, Robbie Martin. Still really young, though, only a redshirt freshman, was the number one rated player in West Virginia coming out of high school. I know people are excited to see him back in the room. Again, though, as such a young freshman, it may be challenging for him to see the field with all this redshirt senior experience and upperclassmen, but keep your eye out on him. I think he definitely has a future here at West Virginia, especially if it doesn't happen this year because of how senior heavy this room is. So I think he'll make an impact. I'm just not sure if it's going to be this year for Robbie Martin. And then these next two guys that I want to talk about are probably the two most, as far as a grouping, that I'm most excited about. Let's start off with Walter Youngbear. First off, excellent football name. I know West Virginia fans will like that. This guy's a beast, right? Redshirt senior, started all 11 games last year at left guard and is bringing 874 snaps of experience from last season. So this guy has played a lot of football, and I think that's what this room needs. They need guys that have played before and that they can rely on from day one. So I think Walter Youngbear brings that. As far as penciling starters, I think it's hard to do at this position, but I think Youngbear is going to find the field in some capacity. I think he is that talented. He has that much experience, and I think the room starts with him. The other interesting guy is Carson Lee. He's a redshirt senior. He was a 2-year starter at center at Eastern Michigan, and last year 692 snaps. So both these guys have played a lot of football, which is, again, extremely important. The question with Carson Lee is, what position is he going to play? Is he going to be a center, or is he going to be in that guard position? I also like Carson Lee to be someone that gets a lot of playing time, right? Whether he's a starter or he's the sixth man off the bench. With his versatility to play center and a guard position, I think you can count on him. Again, you can't take away the experience from him. He tried to go to Mississippi State during spring ball, but did not last there. Ended up transferring to West Virginia, which was probably a better fit for him. So we'll take him. We're excited to have him. So this room right here, even though they're a group of 5 guys, Walter Youngbear, Carson Lee, watch out for those guys. I think they're both going to make an impact this upcoming season. And then we have, to round off the list, the FCS players. We have Mikel Clay. Let's start with him. He's a senior, 29 career games, 1,138 snaps at North Alabama. He only allowed 3 sacks in 2024. So, again, he's someone that is trying to level up. We've seen players come from the FCS have a lot of success. We've seen some players from the FCS not have so much success. So it's definitely a question mark, but he's going to have as good of a shot as anyone just based on his experience. The other guy is Donovan Haslam coming over from Austin Peay. He's a redshirt junior, 24 career games, including 9 starts. So again, but Clay and Haslam both have that experience. It's just not at this level, and that's going to be a question mark that they're to answer into fall camp. And then the last guy that's coming over is Wyatt Minor, a redshirt sophomore from Youngstown State. Has not played much football, though. Did not see the field very much at Youngstown State at all. So with that being said, I'm not sure, if he's going to be able to find the field in Morgantown in year one, just based on the experience that's already there. Now, who knows? You never know, because it's football and guys get better and guys surprise you and things like that. But it may be challenging. But if I had to pick like my top 5 guys, I would probably say Walter Youngbear, Carson Lee, Landon Livingston would be in there. And then after that, it's kind of a crapshoot. It's going to be tough. And that's why I think it's important to pay attention to Rich Rodriguez's press conferences, pay attention to the position coaches, player interviews, who they're sending out for interview opportunities with the media, because I think all that stuff can be signs. And really, we have to be honest with ourselves. They might not say much until week one when we see them against Robert Morris, right? So it's a fascinating battle. There are some concerns there, but I feel a little bit more confident after doing the research that this room can be good. That's all I have for today's show. We've done all the offensive previews at this point. We'll start getting into the defensive previews later this week, and we'll start tracking the media availabilities from the team. So with that being said, I really appreciate everyone watching the show. Again, friendly reminder to please like and subscribe Jersey Ear. Let's go Mountaineers. Football season is right around the corner.